Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more stories like this. Every one of them is drawn from real emotions and real people. I'll never forget that night. Not because of what happened, but because of how ordinary it began. I went to bed earlier than usual. The house felt strange without the faint hum of her voice drifting from the kitchen or the soft light of her phone glowing from the couch. When I turned off the lamp, the clock read 11:52 p.m. I fell asleep thinking we were just going through one of those quiet, distant spells every couple experiences. Nothing felt disastrous, just dull, familiar, tired. At 4:03 a.m., my phone buzzed on the nightstand. Not an alarm. Not a work email. It was a message from Megan. I can't do this anymore. I stared at the screen for a long time, half awake, half frozen. That kind of message drags you into full awareness faster than ice water to the face. I called her, but it went straight to voicemail. Maybe I thought she was just being emotional, one of those midnight breakdowns that fade by morning. Lately we've been fighting about her late nights, the new secrets around her phone, and those mysterious girls' trips with people I'd never even heard of. I got out of bed and sat on the couch, waiting for something. Another text, maybe. Some sign this wasn't what it felt like. But the only thing that filled the air was the hum of the fridge and the soft tap of rain against the windows. Then at 4:17 a.m. the phone buzzed again. This time it was a photo. Her car parked in front of a hotel. The caption read, "I'm sorry." My stomach turned. It wasn't just the betrayal. It was the cold detachment of it. Like she'd just submitted her resignation from our marriage. I didn't reply. I didn't drive out there. I didn't even cry. I just sat still, listening to the rain, the occasional thunder echoing like applause for a decision I never agreed to. At 4:42 a.m., a pounding at the door startled me. Not knocking, pounding. Then her voice, high and trembling. "Ethan, please open up." For a few seconds I didn't move. First I thought she'd changed her mind. Then I feared something was wrong. When I finally opened the door, she stumbled in. Soaked, shaking, mascara streaked across her face, clutching her phone like it had betrayed her too. "She's crazy," she gasped. "You have to believe me. She's outside." "What are you talking about?" I asked, keeping my distance. "That woman, she followed me. She smashed my car window." I looked outside. The street was silent and empty. Just rain-slick pavement and streetlights reflecting in puddles. "Who followed you?" I pressed. Her voice cracked. "His wife." The words hit me like cold water. I didn't need to ask who he was. I just stood there, hands in my pockets, heart cooling into something steady and numb. She sat on the couch, clutching a pillow like it could shield her from what she'd done. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she whispered. "It just happened." I nodded. "And she found out tonight?" "She must have gone through his phone," she said. "She texted me. Said she was coming for me." It was strange, I didn't feel rage. I felt clarity. Everything clicked. The late nights. The vague explanations. The distance. I wasn't paranoid after all. The truth had just been waiting for 4 a.m. to show itself. She looked terrified, smaller than I'd ever seen her. The confident, distant version of Megan was gone. "Can I stay here? Just tonight?" she whispered. I could smell another man's cologne on her clothes. The part of me that still loved her wanted to say yes. The part that had been dying for months wanted her gone. I pulled the curtain back slightly. No car, no woman, just the soft rain outside. "Yeah," I said finally. "You can stay." But it wasn't forgiveness. It was the quiet beginning of something else. A reckoning I hadn't asked for but now couldn't stop. Morning came heavy. I brewed coffee out of habit, not desire. She was still asleep on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, looking almost peaceful. For a moment, I almost believed this had been a nightmare. That soon we'd talk, patch things up. But then I saw her phone on the table, the same one she'd texted me from at 4 a.m., and the calm vanished. Picked it up. She'd never changed her passcode. The first message on the screen read, "She knows. Don't come home." Then another. "Delete everything." I didn't scroll further. I didn't need to. The truth pulsed through the phone like a living thing. I set it down beside her half-empty glass of water and just watched her sleep. The woman I'd married 8 years ago had been full of light, funny, impulsive, warm. The one lying there now looked like a stranger who had wandered into my life, and torn it apart without realizing where she was. When she finally woke up, sunlight was slipping through the curtains. "You're up early," she said softly. "I didn't really sleep," I replied. She nodded, tried to smile. "Ethan, Don't," I said gently. "Not yet." We spent the morning in silence. I fed the dog, watered the plants, checked my email. She sat on the couch scrolling nervously, probably trying to control the fallout. Around noon she finally spoke. "I ended it," she said. "Before last night. I swear I didn't know she'd find out. The text at 4 a.m., that was me trying to tell you it was over. I thought it would be easier that way." "Over text," I said flatly. She didn't answer. Betrayal doesn't explode, it seeps. Quietly, slowly, until it poisons everything. I felt it then, crawling under my skin. Heavy and hollow at once. By 2 p.m. she was packing. I didn't tell her to. She just knew. There was no yelling, no tears. The anger had burned out long ago. What remained was cold understanding. This was the end. At the doorway, suitcase in hand, she turned back. "For what it's worth," she said. "I never meant to hurt you." I looked at her. Really looked, and realized she meant it. But meaning it didn't erase it. "You already did," I said. She nodded, eyes shining, and left without another word. I stood by the window watching her car fade into the rain. The sound of it falling again felt like the sky itself was trying to wash that night away. For days, the house was unbearably silent. Sometimes I'd think about her text, the first one. "I can't do this anymore." I used to think she meant the marriage. Now I think she meant the lie she was living. Maybe even she couldn't carry it anymore. I didn't block her. Didn't delete the messages. I kept them. Not as wounds but as reminders. That sometimes losing someone isn't tragedy. It's release. A week later her mother called. Said Megan was staying with her sister in Portland, trying to figure things out. She asked if I'd be open to talking. I told her maybe one day, but not now. Not while that night still echoed through every corner of this house. Exactly a week later at 4 a.m. I woke again, but this time to silence. No buzzing phone, no pounding at the door. Just stillness. I stepped outside, let the rain touch my face. The same storm that once brought her back now felt calm, cleansing. I whispered to no one in particular. "I can do this now." And for the first time I actually believed it.